he said. So happy birthday, my awesome friend. What I'm going to be eating, because I went in B&M's yesterday, and they had Noodles, and here they are. These are curry flavour, and as you can probably hear, my stomach is rumbling. Now what we're going to have to drink with this, a nice celebrational Pepsi Max. Do you want me to get you a cola? And we're now going to pour it into the Skeletor. I've got the door, got the eyebrow, and the paw in binaural. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's good. Still really warm here, guys, in the UK. It cooled down a bit yesterday, but then it's so humid. It still feels really hot. Okay, so now, as promised, I'm gonna have a little Bruce Lee ramble. I'm gonna talk about, the films as well that he made. Because as you probably know, Bruce was born in San Francisco on November the 27th, 1940. But he didn't really get his real proper breakthrough until he went to Hong Kong and made these amazing kung fu movies. And the first one he made was called The Big Boss. Now, when I was 8 years old, my dad had an 8mm projector, super 8mm actually. And although you could watch sort of abridged versions of movies, you could also get trailer reels. So the first trailer comes on and it was Vampire Circus. I didn't mind that one. Then on comes the trailer for The Big Boss. And I'd watched lots of kung fu movies, but I'd never seen anything like this, and I said to my dad, "Who is that?" He said, "It's Bruce Lee." And I was hooked immediately. And I said, I want to see this. I want to see his films. And The Big Boss was his first movie from 1971. And it was amazing. Absolutely incredible. I'd not seen anything like it. His next movie was called Fist of Fury, or The Chinese Connection. And that was the first one that I actually watched all the way through. My dad managed to get it on video on Philips 1600, these great big cassettes, video cassettes. And I think it was on 2 of these cassettes, and it absolutely blew me away. Brilliant film. He then wrote and directed his next movie, which was called The Way of the Dragon. And again, brilliant movie. It's got one of the best fight scenes ever. Between Bruce and the great Chuck Norris, and the fights at the Colosseum in Rome. Absolutely amazing. Then comes my absolute favourite movie, Enter the Dragon. Now, Enter the Dragon was the first proper sort of martial arts movie made by a proper American studio, Warner Brothers. With Bruce's own company. I think it's Bruce and Raymond Chow. It was called Concord. And I've got a great story about it, which I've probably told before, so I'm sorry if you've heard it. My dad knew this guy who was a projectionist at Warner Brothers. And he told me that his friend's gonna bring round a 16mm print of Game of Death, which was his last film. But what happened, and I'm so glad it did, is when he come round, my dad said to me he couldn't get Game of Death, so he's brought Enter the Dragon round instead. I said, okay, you know, I didn't care. Again, 8 years old at the time. I had 2 rooms, the living room and a middle room, and it had like a serving hole in the wall. So my dad had set up the projector in the second room, the middle room, and we got this big, I think it was about 7 or 8 foot beaded screen, and we shown it on there, and we're all sitting there. It was like sitting in the cinema, and like the projector my dad had at the time had like an speaker that you could just put anywhere you wanted. So we put that through the hole and put it in the living room with us. And it was great. Right, the film I was talking about before, Game of Death, Bruce started working on in 1972 and started some of the fight scenes. He filmed some of the fight scenes for it, but then went and made Enter the Dragon and unfortunately died, which is really sad. It was a week before the movie actually came out, so unfortunately Bruce didn't even get to see it, which is a shame. But yeah, unfortunately the movie Game of Death didn't get finished, and what they did was an absolute crime. Because they found the footage that Bruce had actually shot, which features a pagoda, and what it was Bruce had to make his way to the top of the pagoda and had to defeat all these different martial arts styles. So I think, there was one of them was I think he was Taekwondo, who was a really good martial artist as well. I think it was the same guy that's in Way of the Dragon, I believe. The second one was Dan Inosanto, and that was with sticks and nunchakus and all these sort of weapons. And Bruce Lee defeats them all, and finally at the top of the pagoda is the style of the unknown, and Bruce Lee has to fight, I think it was about 7'2", Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the basketball player, and also one of Bruce's students. However, that was all that they had. So what they did was wrote a story around it, and the film turned out to be really disappointing. They used just shots from Bruce's old films, his actual films, and the only real new footage was the pagoda fight. And then, to really rub salt in the wounds, the UK, like they'd done with The Way of the Dragon, in The Way of the Dragon, Bruce has 2 nunchakus, but they were completely cut out in the UK. So of course when Game of Death came out, they cut the nunchaku fight out with Bruce and Dan Inosanto, to add insult to injury. So it was very disappointing. They did bring out after a full 45-minute version of Game of Death. The actual proper, the way it was going to be where Bruce originally goes to the first floor with a couple of guys, it's James Chen and someone else, and they try and fight the guy first and lose, and then Bruce Lee takes over and then of course beats them. Also there's more to the nunchaku fight, because he starts explaining to him this bamboo stick that he uses. And also the fight with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is slightly different, because there's kind of a sort of supernatural thing about him. That Bruce discovers, and that's how he manages to beat him. So yeah, and that one was pretty good. But it's a shame it couldn't be done again properly, because apparently they've got all the notes now as to how the film was going to be and what it was going to be about. Even if they sort of used AI or something for Bruce's face now. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I still, think he's amazing now. When you watch his movies back from then, early 70s. But they still deliver to this day. They're still brilliant to watch. And Travis Licence loves him too. So we're always watching him. We watched him the other day because it was the anniversary of his death. So we put Enter the Dragon on. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, they're delicious, guys. And it was nice to have a change and have curry flavour. Lovely. That really is nice cold. Ice cold. It's great to see you all, guys. I'll probably be back on Monday. I've got a lot of stuff coming up for you, so stay tuned. Again, happy birthday, Esmail. Always great to see you. Don't be afraid to comment either, guys. I love seeing all your comments, so keep them coming. I will be back, but in the meantime, have yourselves a wonderful, peaceful